Floor 2 just got a whole lot harder, especially with its new context update, with the increased chance of rush and ambush spawning more during the end, and halt with a harder room and more often spawning. Let's talk about rush and ambush. Rush and ambush both got a buff to the last 50 doors, where they spawn an increasingly large amount more. After the Seek Chase, you'll expect rush about every 4 to 5 doors, whereas in the beginning, you only see him once about every 10 doors. Now ambush, however, his spawn chance goes from 0.333% up to 6.66% in the end, so you're most likely to see him near the end, but if not, then you're lucky, I guess. Now let's talk about my good old friend Halt. Halt in the hotel has a 0.1 to 0.5% chance to spawn in the hotel, whereas in the mines, he's guaranteed to spawn once per run. That's a pretty big difference if you ask me. Now Halt, he is supposed to spawn before the second Seek Chase, and that's usually where you see him, but if you don't before then he will spawn right after the Seek Chase. This is what makes it so much harder now that his room is a lot harder. The last two entities to get a buff near the end is Eyes and Giggle. We'll start out with Eyes. Eyes doesn't really spawn much in the beginning, but towards the end he spawns pretty much once every 3 rooms. Now as for Giggle, in the beginning he doesn't really spawn much, but as you go on later in rooms, he can spawn up to back-to-back rooms. Now these both really don't play a huge part, you just have to know where to look to avoid these two. So what does this do when you add it all up, you wonder? Well, think about the last 10 rooms in the hotel. It's pretty much that, but just 20 rooms in the mines. Another thing I forgot to mention is that Rush and Ambush can both spawn without a rumble or a light flicker. They can even spawn in dark rooms and just come out of nowhere. So now let's talk about the room with the generator and figure. For this room, it only has, I think, about a 50% chance of spawning, and this room isn't too bad unless you're in the dark. Now here's what I would recommend for this room. You don't have to do a crazy lot of hard stuff, but just crouch the whole time and be as far away as figure as possible. Most likely you will have to go to the left to get some of the lights you need for the generator, but other than that, the right side is really easy. All you have to do is go a little bit up, find the right drawers, get the generators, and you're out of that room, no problem at all. Now this room, I think, has a 50% chance of spawning in a run after the second Seek Chase. So it's not guaranteed, but if it does happen, then good luck. With all these things added into the game, it can create a pretty hard environment, making it hard for you to survive in those last 20 to 30 rooms or so. Now, there is good sides though, as in the hotel, the last 10 rooms have way harder things, such as all the last rooms are dark, with nothing to see, and you don't know the sequence of the rooms. Another thing that is very crucial in the hotel is that they have snares on the ground for you to trip up and fall on. Now what I really like about the mines is that they don't have these. They only have the stuff I talked about. So hey, even if you think it's hard in the mines, there could be a lot worse stuff. So all in all, with all these things added together, it would make a pretty harsh environment. So let's be hypothetical and say what we can do in these scenarios. For Rush and Ambush, just always be close to a locker and listen for sounds in the distance, and that's really all you have to do for those two. That gets those two out of the way. For Eyes and Giggle, you just have to look around a lot. Just make sure you're not looking directly at Eyes, and look up at the ceiling when you're looking for Giggle. Oh, another way to avoid Giggle is by throwing a flashlight at him or using a big light. As for the figure that spawns randomly, well, I don't really have many other tips for that one. Just good luck with that one. And finally, if you get past all those, then congratulations, but you're rewarded with meeting the Seek Dam. So good luck with Doors Floor 2, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.